Oh, that hurt my eyeballs.
All right, we are back, hurt eyeballs and all, for another episode of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. This is a wedding Wednesday. Love wedding Wednesdays. Very excited about them. These people fire me up. They're very angry. They ask some dumb questions. I love when people, they just get freaked out. You know what I mean? Like they feel the stress. They do all those things. We're just trying to help them out a little bit. Again, just like always, this is the most unfiltered, uncensored, raw, live television you will find anywhere. It's the riskiest. It's the riskiest reputational show on the internet, 100%. Because we don't edit, we don't do anything. This is all legitimate live reaction. I have no idea what's coming. That's no joke. All I get told is that this is this type of episode. That's literally all that I'm told. So I have no idea what's happening. But you do know what's happening. So why don't you surprise us? Let's get into it. Let's get
into it.
Let's do initial reactions. Hit me with it. What do you got?
Can I get my money back from a bachelorette party I am no longer attending? This is COVID related, but I do feel like this is a good question for any time of the year or pandemic season.
That's a good question, actually. My initial reaction is yes, you can. But I'm going to need a little bit more. We need some more details. I don't feel strongly one way or the other on this one. Honestly, I don't. I don't feel strongly. But it's because I don't know enough details. It's very possible with some detail I might hop off the fence on this one.
Yeah. I've been invited to a bachelorette party in July out of state. In fact, all the women attending are flying from several states in order to attend. As I see it, this would be wildly irresponsible, but the bride and about half of the group don't see eye to eye. Recently, the organizer of the trip sent out an email saying that because of the host city's looser regulations, it was definitely still on, and to let her know if we felt differently, making starting a conversation about not going very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning on not going and let her know so, but I've been trying to figure out the money part of it. We've all paid our part of an Airbnb. Is there any way for me to get the $400+ back from the group if I decide not to go because of the pandemic? I have accepted that I will lose money on flights, but this trip was a stress for me to begin with, and it would be a meaningful difference for me to get the money back. If we cancel the trip, we would all be reimbursed, at least in part, but I'm worried we'll miss the window if half the group waits until the week of to make the call. It makes sense the bride would want to wait. Her shower, bachelorette, and wedding will likely all be impacted by this pandemic. Any advice about how to start the conversation? Should I just eat the money, since this is definitely heartbreaking for my friend?
Oh God, this girl is so fucking twisted up, right? This is the straight up Eugene Levy and Bring It Down the House. Boo, you got me twisted up in the game, right? Like this girl has no idea. She doesn't know if she's coming or going. Like she's fucking lost, right? She has no idea what's happening. First of all, how many people do you think are attending this thing? Like how many people? It's $400 a person. That is a shocking amount of money for somebody who's like worried about money. You know what I mean? Like that's a shocking amount of money for you to give. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that's a lot of money. I'm not saying that's no money. What I'm saying is if you're worried about money, like if you're worried about eating the $400, that is a shocking amount of money for you to have put up at any point in time. If you're worried about it, because that's not like, if it was like $50, then, whatever, like you could be broke and still eat $50 and it is what it is, right? But like $400, that's like a real amount of money for someone who doesn't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not saying that like to be a dick or anything like that. I'm saying like, if you don't have a lot of money, $400 is a lot of money. If you do have a lot of money, you could just kind of go, $400, it's not really a big deal, right? So it's actually a really good, like kind of right on the line, Like, what's your fucking financial situation, right? So it sounds to me like this girl doesn't have a ton of money, which is fine. Like, no problems. Stop fucking spending $400 on a goddamn thing that you can't afford in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't just fucking eat $400, if you can't just be like, man, fucking who cares? Then stop fucking spending $400. It's not that hard. Just stop doing it. I don't know what to tell you. Just be like, look, I can't afford that. It's not that hard. If they're your actual friends, they'll be like, all right, we get it. Or, hey, you know what? We got you. You know what I mean? Like if they're your actual friends, they will either understand or they will support you financially or both. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you're worried about it, stop spending $400. Just stop it. Just stop spending $400. Like, no, day one, don't spend $400 that you don't have. Okay. Secondly, you're going to lose money on the flights. That doesn't make any sense. You could do, you could just cancel the flight, or you can push it back, or what? It's the fucking pandemic.
Yeah,
I mean, the policy, you got COVID, and like, fuck it.
I literally have $2,000 worth of flight voucher for canceled flights for this past year. Yeah. So they're definitely giving you the money back for it. I'm in the camp of someone who spent money on, like, I was supposed to attend a bachelorette party in March and then a wedding in October. I definitely didn't go in March because the whole thing got canceled, but it was like right as everything was happening. I have a compromised immune system. I did ask for my money back if it was possible. I said, like, hey, have we put the deposit down? Like, where are we within the cancellation? Can I receive my money back? And they didn't have a problem with that. And I'm in, and it was not $400, but it was still every amount matters to me at my personal financial level. So I'm someone who definitely would have spent $400 that they didn't have it. But it was for a friend I don't see very often, and I would think it was worth it. You have a different opinion on that, but
no. What I'm saying is, if you're like, she's fucking worried about it, right? So it's obviously not that important to her that she sees these people. That's my point. Like, if she's making this big a deal about the money, then it's obviously not that important.
I think that the part that what's real, like, yes, she needs the money, but I think the part that's like kind of pissing her off about it is the fact that the pandemic is happening and people don't like care at all about it.
What are you talking about? First of all, fuck this girl. If you're telling me that she's pissed off because she hasn't said a goddamn thing to anybody, right? She's like, how do I start the conversation? It's pretty fucking easy. You'd be like, hey, can I get my $400 fucking dollars?
What I didn't understand is the organizer said it was on, and then was like, does anyone have any issues with this? And then she's like, well, that makes it hard to bring it up. And I'm like,
right, this is my point. This is what I'm saying.
To say that.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this girl, if you're that worried about $400, if the $400 is that important to you, then number one, you shouldn't have spent it in the first place, or you should have asked, or you should have done something else, whatever, or you should have accepted. Like, this is the thing. If you're gonna spend it, then you can't bitch about it later. Okay? Like, you can't. You fucking chose to spend it. You're a goddamn adult. You chose to spend it. You can't then later be like, oh, well now I gotta. No, you fucking chose. It's your fault. Just because it didn't work out the way you thought doesn't mean that it's somebody else's fault. They owe you anything. Okay? Now, if they're your actual friends, they probably will help you, right? They'll probably give you your money back and they'll do all those things. But fuck this girl, because she's like, oh, how do I start the conversation? You just tell them, hey, I need my $400 back. Like, it's not that hard. You say that to them, and those people will either say, you know what, we don't really like you that much, in which case, honestly, probably $400 well spent, because they're not giving you your money back and you know that they're not your friends. Great way to find out that you don't have friends. $400 is kind of expensive, but to figure out like all those people hate you, that's a bargain deal. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty cheap to find out that like 7 people hate you, Like, honestly, like that's a pretty good bargain for what you're getting, right? Or they'll be like, hey, you know what? We understand. Here's your $400 back. We'll cover it. No problem. And you're like, hey, you know what? These people are my friends. Great. And I'm not out. And if I'm not a complete moron, I can just get my ticket credit for some time in the future. And now I'm not out any money and I still get to go to this wedding. Or not. I don't know. I can't tell. This girl seems to hate her friends anyway, so I can't really figure it out. But if you spend the money, this is my point. If you spend the money, you don't get to bitch about it later. You already spent the money. That money was already gone. Oh, I didn't get the vacation. That shit happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, stuff happens. Yeah. What if you got snowed in? What if you got snowed in, you couldn't get there or whatever? You still would have eaten that money, right? You still would have eaten the money.
Yeah, I mean, this has happened a couple times. Like, actually, one of my friends, I couldn't make her bachelorette party because there was like a hurricane
Mhm.
And I told her, I was like, it's just not happening. I don't have power. Like, I don't know if I can even get to the airport. I don't really want, at the end of the day, I was like, I physically can't, and I can't really deal with it at this point.
Mhm.
Keep the money because it was literally the day before. My friend who also didn't have a ton of money sent it back. She like was like, no, like have your money back or whatever. And I was like, I'll I don't need my money back. So like there has been time where a friend, I didn't ask for it. I was in someone's wedding in October of this year because of the pandemic, and I called her up and I pulled it. I was like, I had to pull out because it was a hot spot where I was going. I can't afford to get sick. I also have a compromised immune system. So my doctor was like, this is not a great idea. This is a terrible idea. And she was really understanding about it. And I offered, if she had already bought some stuff for the wedding, like my meal ticket and stuff, I was like, I'll pay for that. And she said, we haven't, so it's fine. So like a lot of things, yes, I had to like eat the plane ticket, and I was able to cancel it, get some of my stuff back. But the point wasn't, oh, I paid this money, even though I need the money back, and that would be great. Like it's really about the fact that this is something, like you're saying, this is something you were choosing to do for someone anyway. It's not really about your vacation. It was about your friend's bachelorette party. If you can't go, it's the same thing to me as if you're going to lend someone money, right? Like you don't lend someone money unless you're comfortable saying, I'm never getting that money back. That's how I look at those kinds of things. And especially if you're not going to ask for it, there's nice ways to ask for it too, where you aren't putting someone out. If you're, but part of that is accepting the fact that you might not get the money back.
Look, there's a lot of stuff. I agree with you that pulling out is a 100% effective method. Totally agree with you. So that's a good lesson for all the kids out there to learn. Just ask,
I have a
for your money
nephew that
back. You know what I mean?
might disagree, but yeah.
Well, that tells me that they didn't pull out. That's what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean? Like you pull out and it's effective. If you don't pull
I
out,
feel
it's not
like you need
effective.
to
Like
go
that's at
back
the
to
end of the
health
day.
class, actually.
I'm not entirely sure that's true. Like I know you're going to talk about some stuff that maybe happens before the grand finale or whatever, and I'm going, I don't know. Like pull out, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It's 100% effective. I totally agree with you. We're on the same page. You and I are on the same page. Don't worry about it. To this
I don't
girl,
think we're
look,
ever on the same page.
like if it's $400,
I'm not even sure if we're in the same chapter or book, honestly.
if it's $400 and you want your $400 back, you just ask for your $400 back. It's not that difficult. Like somebody for an adult person, for someone who is supposedly an independent human being, to be like, how do I ask a question? You're just a moron. Like you're not smart. It's not that hard. You just ask. You just say to someone, I need my $400 back. Okay. And I don't care, like everybody who's, oh, well, you got to finesse and you got to do this and you got to do that and whatever. You know what? If somebody has a fucking problem with you asking that, they're probably not somebody that you want in your life. If you can't be honest with these people, if you have the fucking couch, every goddamn thing you say to somebody, there's probably not somebody you want to be around. You should want to be around. Your friends should be people that you can talk to 100% real. You should be like, hey, look, I need that $400 because I'm fucking broke. And your friend should be like, hey, you know what? Here's your $400 back. And you know what? Honestly, let me know if you need something else. Let me know if I can support you in any other way. If they don't say that, and that's not how that conversation goes, they're not your real friends. That's what I'm telling you right now. So all these people who are like, oh, hemming and hawing and say, well, you got to kind of finesse. You got to do this. You got to do that. No, this isn't politics at work, all right? This isn't any of that bullshit. This is your friends. You should be 100% honest with your friends. You should be able to be 100% honest with them. And if you can't, then you should look at your friends and genuinely think about whether or not they actually qualify as friends. That's what I'm taking away from this. That's what I think this girl should take away from this. She's asked for her fucking $400 back because she sounds broke as shit, and $400 is really going to help you out. You know what I mean? So ask for the money. Don't go to the wedding. Don't go to the bachelor. I don't know. Whatever they're doing, don't go to it. Whatever. It sounds like you hate them anyways. Like, I agree. Let's get out of here. Everybody needs to pull out. Everybody remember that. That's an effective method of birth control. I agree with you. 100% effective. 100% effective pulling out, getting your money back. So far on this show, I've never had to do that, but we're 1 for 1. So try that. Maybe this girl will go 2 for 2. If she does try it, she should hit us up and let us know, because I'm assuming it's going to be effective. So she should definitely let us know. But I think we did it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think we did it too. Basically, just be an adult.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, be somebody who's alive past the age of 16. It's not that hard. All right, so if you have a question for us, you got wedding questions, you got life advice questions, you got relationship questions, whatever you got, you can hit us up. You can hit us up with the email. What's the email?
The email is info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com.
All right, so you hit us up there. If you listen on the podcast, we do appreciate it. Subscribe, please. Rate, review, all that stuff. Please actually do review. We got a plan with the reviews, so please go ahead and do that. We'll be able to pump out some content with that as well. We also have the YouTube channel, so please subscribe on that. All those things. Go ahead and play all that shit in the background, podcast, YouTube, whatever. Play in the background. Turn the screen of your phone off, turn the volume down, whatever. Just play it at night. Whatever. It'd be a nice. Help us out. We do appreciate it. If you want merch, we do have some merch. Honestly, this is the only thing I care about. This is honestly why I do the show. I just want Karma Cancer to be a thing. Like, I just genuinely want that to be a thing. We do have apparel. We're gonna have you get the link in the show notes, all that stuff. We are gonna have Karma Cancer apparel. I got Dennis apparel. We got just Your Relationship Sucks. It's just traditional apparel. So please go check that out. Again, that does help us. But really, the most important thing for that is that I just want it to be a thing. Like, I don't even care. Like, the money and all that stuff. Like, that's cool, but I just genuinely want to see people in the wild just wearing Karma Cancer, because that's a real thing that should exist in the world. We all need a sense of humor. I love that. So let's try to get that out there. But otherwise, please come back tomorrow. We will be back. We are Monday through Friday. We will be back tomorrow with a non-wedding related relationship advice segment to help some people, hopefully some dumb college kids. I don't know what's planned for, but hopefully some dumb college kids, helping them be a little less college. So we will see everybody then.